We are going to join now State Senator Ruth Johnson, who's on the other end of our lines, a former Secretary of State. And I've asked her on here because the current Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, has had a series of either press conferences online. We talked to Julie Brixey, State Rep, about some changes they want to make with more hirings at the Secretary of State's office, all because, man, they got an incredible backlog there right now. And you can't just go in and wait it out and take a number. That was the old way. They say they're not going back to that. But what do we do coming out of a pandemic where so many transactions still have to be done and people are frustrated with the way things are going right now? Senator Johnson's on the other end of my line. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. And yes, you're right. People are so frustrated because they need to buy or sell a car, truck, trailer, or boat. They need to get their driver's license. They need to get Real ID compliant. They need to take their mechanics test, get their commercial driver's license updated, or take a test. And you're having to wait weeks and months, and it is problematic for a lot of people.
One of the frustrations I had with this as it was rolling out, and I noted it was, and this is again anecdotal, I've had to go like everybody else to the Secretary of State's office dozens and dozens of times. And, you know, if you're taking, like you said, a driver's test or something like that, I get it. It's going to take a while. And if there's people waiting, it's going to hold things up. But I'm told that the average transaction for an appointment is 20 minutes. Man, I've never had an appointment take 20 minutes in my life at the Michigan Secretary of State. Once I got to the window, you know what I mean? Waiting it out, reading War and Peace, yes. But once I got there, they handle things swiftly. Is part of the and now the Secretary of State, Benson, has said they're going to cut down a lot of these appointments from 20 minutes to 10. Is that part of the answer? Because that seems more realistic to me.
Well, I know that we had lots of reports, even of somebody that was very disabled who went to the office, and half the staff were sitting with no customers, and we've even had cases with no customers, and they would not let them in. I think really the answer is to go back to the system.
Well, that's completely bizarre. I mean, that makes no sense in the world, does it?
Well, they said you don't have an appointment, you can't come in, and I do disagree with that. We're there for customer service, but we had something called My Timeline, and she saved a third of it, but got rid of the most popular two-thirds, which is that you would have nights, Wednesday night and Saturdays, some of the branches open to help people, and that really helps people that work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. She got rid of getting online to get in line, so if it was an hour wait, you could just wait it out doing errands or whatever you wanted to do. She got rid of the part for people that don't have techie skills or maybe don't have Wi-Fi or a cell phone or a computer where you would come in and check in. And if we said your wait time's an hour, you could go shopping or run errands and come back so you didn't have to sit. And those two things she cut out of My Time on. The only thing she kept was the appointment part, which is helpful for some people, but want to get in the same day. So we averaged a 44-minute wait, but because you could go online to get in line, it's like Ohio does, and it's our system. It works so well. And then people can just walk in or make an appointment. If you make an appointment, you're not going to have to wait as long. I have a system similar to that where you can look and see what the wait times are and go, run errands or do whatever you want, and then go get a haircut. That needs to be brought back, and when she cut evening and weekend hours for people, there's no more late Wednesday or Saturday options. It's really not the time to be cutting services out. People deserve to get services. They're getting tickets, $200 tickets, because they don't have the proper tabs or they don't have a valid driver's license, but they able to show the police officer that they had an appointment in 2 months.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem. I'm not, and I understand that there are still ways for people to get, their thing done. If they just need new tabs, I know you can go to the kiosk, and I think the kiosk is a good idea, or you can do it through the mail. I get that too. It seems though to me, from common sense standpoint, that giving people more options rather than less is a good thing. If you have the time to set up an appointment in advance, do it. If you all of a sudden, boy, I'm going to sell this and make the move, or I'm going to do a family title transfer, give it to the kids here for $1, whatever. I mean, that there are ways of doing this that now people feel like those doors are shut, and they're just. I mean, I sense a level of frustration out there that's pretty high, and I don't know that they want that frustration then brought in the doors en masse. And I understand that too. Is there a way to kind of, is there a healthy medium or a happy medium here?
Well, sure. I mean, one of them is we started SOS.com. You can get your tabs. You don't have to go to a kiosk. You can do it from your computer or your phone. You can do many things on Express SOS. Anything you can get from a kiosk, you can go online and use Express SOS. We put in a lot of kiosks. It's amazing how many people don't have computer service at their homes. So that's the best way. If you can go on SOS.com, and we did see a large jump when they closed down the offices because of COVID. We did see a lot of people switch over to online, which is so helpful. But you still have to come in for ID, a photo, an eye exam, to buy and sell a car, boat, and trailer, to get registrations, and our commercial driver's licenses for the big trucks. And we have real ID coming around soon that we're going to have people come in to get that so they can fly domestically. So I wish the current Secretary of State had your attitude about this. We really need to be heavy on customer service right now, and cutting away the 2/3 of my timeline and cutting out weekends and nights isn't the way to do it. It's simply wrong for the people of Michigan. And I hope she'll support my bill to waive late fees for people right now until the offices are reopened. And she's been opposing the Senate Bill 508. You can't get in, but you get a late fee. And then the Senate's considering this week would also extend the expiration date for driver's licenses and registrations, because people shouldn't be getting $200 tickets because they couldn't get an appointment in time.
State Senator Ruth Johnson is our guest. I got to ask you this, though. I mean, it's a unique situation with you being a former Secretary of State, two-time. She's testified in front of you. There'll be some who say, wow, this is just the former Secretary of State saying, well, she's taking apart my system. I thought it was pretty good. She has a right to do it, but I don't like it. The others will say, yeah, but she has a lot of information and knowledge on this. Unlike some lawmakers, why shouldn't she go and dig in a little bit as to what the new Secretary of State, quote unquote, is doing? Some of both true there, or unfair? You get that criticism.
Well, I'm still a public servant. I am chair of elections. I am a senator from Michigan. And I care about people. I care about them getting their services. I grew up in a little neighborhood where, none of us were overly blessed financially. I grew up under the poverty level. We worked hard, salt of the earth. And I see my friends and others who call me, and I've not had anything I've had this many complaints on, that are getting tickets. It's just so unfair to them. Some people don't want to drive to a family reunion. I talked to somebody the other day. Their wait time was 6 months. Now, I do have to say that she did add on 350,000 new appointment slots without additional staff. So that shows they were greatly underserving customers until now. But I'm happy to see that she's finally listening to Michigan families and making some changes to people. And I appreciate that they're responding to the specific concerns for customers with disabilities. Our job is to provide good services. If you don't like Walgreens and want to go to Rite Aid or vice versa, you can do that. You can't do that with the government. We owe people. They deserve to get waited on in a timely way. And months to sell or buy a car or to get your license. People didn't want to drive to Florida this year because they were afraid to drive out of the state. I know the Upers were telling me if they go to Wisconsin without a registration and a valid license, it's automatic jail under Wisconsin law. I mean, it has such dramatic ramifications, and it hurts people that can afford it the least.
Yeah. It's just a weird situation. She has said, Secretary of State Benson has said the walk-ins are not going to happen. That's not going to be part of the thing going forward. Do you sense that'll be accurate, or at some point they're going to have to open up to walk-ins again?
The only way you can be efficient is to allow walk-ins. Do you know how many people don't have computer services or cell phones? There's a lot of people, and while we put in ExpressSOS.com, that helps a lot of people that have charge cards.
Yeah, it's not everybody, right?
Don't. Yeah, they do have to come in, and so we are tying her budget to opening those branch offices. We have 131 in the state of Michigan, and we owe it to the people as legislators, because we're the ones that make policy, and we're the ones in charge of the budget with the governor. So
Ruth Johnson
we hope to do it.
Ruth Johnson, I appreciate you joining us, former Secretary of State, current state senator from Holly. Take care, stay safe. Interesting perspective on this, which has been, I think, for a lot of people, very frustrating. I mean, maybe inordinately frustrating situation during the pandemic, but actually was happening to some extent before the pandemic as well. I appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
Thanks. You too. All right, we're back here shortly in the Morning Wake Up. It's 1320 WILS.